Here's a super easy version of Yellow. It just uses basic chords which still include some of the embellished sounds that you hear in the original track, so it still gets that character through. And for the lead part, we're just going to be doing single notes, none of the bends or slides or alternate tuning or anything like that. So super accessible for beginners. Let's take a look. So we've got capo on the 4th fret, and we're going to start with this G chord, which is just 3rd finger and little finger on the bottom string and the top string, and my 3rd finger is muting the A string as well. Now 1st finger is going to occasionally pop down on the 1st fret of the B. That gives us the little harmonic movement that you hear in the intro. It's adding a C note, which makes it a G sus4, and we're going to do that. If you want to be exactly like the record, it has to be on the and of 2 every 2nd bar. So in the right hand, I'm just doing down strums, which is why I haven't included it in the shot, but that would sound like this. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... You could probably get away with being a little bit less precise on the timing, just sort of improvise it or do it by feel, whatever sounds good, but it repeats that twice and that gives us the intro. Next we're into the riff. I'll show you the chords and then the lead notes. So chords wise, we've got an 8-bar pattern. We're going to start with 2 bars of G. Now normally here I switch to a normal big G with all 4 fingers, but you could keep this back finger G if you want, whatever you prefer. So we're going to do 2 bars of G. Then we're going to move to a D6, which you can see on the tab below. I'm using the middle 2 fingers to play this and thumb over the top to do the muting. Again, 2 bars. Then I'm using the same 2 fingers to move over and play the C major 7, which is just like a C chord with an open B string. The D6 also has the open B string, so it's kind of a consistent theme. Then back to G to round it off. So G, D6, C major 7, G, 2 bars on each. Take a look at the lead part now. Now on the original, there's a lot of slides and bends going on, but we're just going to keep it super simple with just single notes. And you've essentially got 2 notes over the top of each chord. So over the top of the G chord, the 2 notes are B string 3rd fret from the capo to 1st fret from the capo on the same string. And the only thing you might want to look out for is, as you can see on the tab, the note changes kind of half a beat into the 2nd bar. This is to emulate the sliding effect that you hear right on the beat on the original track. So to count that through for you, that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So just changing on the and rather than on the bar. Same rhythm for the 2 notes on the D chord, which are now on the top string. It's the 2nd fret to the open string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then on the C, we're going 2nd fret G to open G. Then we're just repeating the first 2 bars on the G, so 3rd fret, 1st fret on B string. So jam it along to the record, or better yet, loop the chords yourself and then try playing the lead over the top. And I added a little bit of distortion and reverb in the demo, took the reverb off just to explain it here, but try adding those effects as well just to make it sound a little bit more epic. Now this video is designed more for beginners, but if you're a little bit more advanced and you want to play the whole thing on one guitar, you can sort of do a Chord-Melody version. That would sound like this. So it sounds pretty neat. I'm not going to go through and explain it because it's not really what this video is intended for, and plus if you're able to do that with all the muting and everything, you're probably good enough to figure it out for yourself anyway, but just to show it's possible, and if you are in the beginner stages, it might be something to aim for a little bit further down the line. Next we come to the verse where the lyrics come in. Now the verse progression is very similar to the riff progression, but we have to be mindful of one little structural change. So in the riff we had an 8-bar pattern because it was 2 bars of G, 2 of D6, 2 of C major 7, then 2 of G again. However, in the verse we're getting rid of that last G, so it's a 6-bar progression, just 2 bars of G, D6, C major 7. So when you get to the G, you have to remember that you've already started the next progression, you're not finishing off the first one. So just to be absolutely clear on that, we're doing 2 bars of G, 2 bars of D6, which is like a D chord with an open B string, 2 bars on the C major 7, then as we go back to the G, now we've already started again. So rather than stay on the G, we're going to the D6, C major 7. So this is how we're going to be going through the chords in the verse. It's 3 full repetitions in the verse, which again, 3 is a bit of an odd number. Normally in songs everything's either 2 or 4 or 8, but this time it's 3. If you're singing along, the lyrics should make sense over that chord progression. You should be able to feel where it's going. And at the end of those 3 repetitions to build up for the chorus, we're going back to the intro style chord with the 3rd finger and the little finger, and we're going to add the 1st finger embellishment again for the sus4, but this time the rhythm is slightly different. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So just adding the 1st finger for the first 2 beats of the 2nd bar. Again, you can kind of improvise that bit, just use it to build up to the chorus, and that gives you the verse part. And finally we reach the chorus. We've just got a simple 2-bar pattern for this one. We're going to do a full bar of the C major 7, and then the 2nd bar we're doing half the bar as an E minor, and then the other half as that D6 which we've seen before. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, C major 7, E minor, quickly to D6. And again, we do this 3 times. And to round off the chorus, we're doing a bar of C major 7 with the strumming. Then the final bar, just give it 1 big strum, let it ring out. You'll sing "You Know I Love You So," and then we're back into the riff. So really simple chorus part. That gives you almost all the parts. Now regarding the structure, we're basically cycling the riff, the verse and the chorus a couple of times. I often put the structure in order on my tabs, so I'll pop that below so you can see it in full. There's just one more thing to be aware of, which is a slight deviation from the norm in the outro. We're going to go for the verse progression, but we're going to do a D minor 7 rather than that D6. Just adds a nice little minor twist to make the outro sound a bit unique. Sounds really nice. So we're starting with 2 bars on the G, D minor 7, and then just round off with 1 strum on the C major 7, which rings out really nicely for the end of the song. If you struggle with the little bar part in the D minor 7, it is quite a good first bar to get down as a beginner, but if you really can't do it for now, you could use a normal D minor and maybe work on integrating that D minor 7 as you get a little bit more advanced, but that gives you the full structure. If anything, hopefully this lesson has shown you that you can still play nice fancy embellished chords without an extra layer of difficulty, and even as a beginner you can bring through the unique sounds of the tracks that you're trying to emulate. Now you can learn more about these chords and more songs that use them in my 7th chord series, which I'll pop a link to on screen, as well as the option to subscribe, which I'd be really grateful for, and you can check out more guitar lessons on the channel, and hopefully I'll see you in another one soon.